Dear learners, welcome to today's session on the principles of internet search engines. Search is one thing which we are always doing on the internet, and most of us are using Google search engine to search for the information we need. Today we will see how these search engines work and how we can perform search efficiently. Whenever you search for something, you will find millions of matches. So as you keep on scrolling, you get more and more of those search results, and then you will be very much confused to really choose the one which you think is the most appropriate result for your search. And whenever you want to go to the top search result, that is an advertisement, and then comes the results. So it is often we select that result which is coming at the top of the search result outcome. However, we keep on browsing other results also, but when millions of search results are coming, it's almost next to impossible to find what is there in each and every one of them. However, it is always possible that we formulate our search query in such a way that we get very meaningful search result as output. We will be looking into all these aspects in today's lecture as well as coming up lectures. Today we will focus on the principles of internet search engines. The main objectives of today's presentation is to learn about searching the web, to learn about how search takes place, to learn about building the index and how search is built and how search engine positioning is done. Of course, you may not be able to understand some of the words in the objectives, but doesn't matter, when we cover the topic, you will better understand, and in case you have any doubts, you can always get in touch with me on my mail. Internet, of course, I have already said earlier, internet is different, World Wide Web is different, but then people use the terms in an interchangeable manner. So World Wide Web, it is the ocean of information. You can also say internet is the ocean of information. This is the vastest place where all the information, knowledge and data are available on all the known topics of this universe. Internet is also known as the web of information spread over almost on all the facts. Of course, the major problem is that you cannot take things for granted whenever you get information from the net. You should be sure that whatever information you are getting from the net is genuine, so you need some way to really examine its authenticity. That's the reason we believe in some portals, we believe in some websites, we believe in some sources. So whenever we find information on the trusted portals, we trust the information. Whenever we find information on such portals which we are not much aware, then we try to visit multiple portals and ensure that the information semantically is same across the portals, and so we can believe. Because there are many websites which are providing very authentic information, at the same time there are many websites and social networks which are not providing the genuine information. However, it all depends on for what information we are looking for. For example, let me say you are looking some information related to the health. You want to know the medicines prescribed for some ailment, or maybe a fever or a headache. So you can search net. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should not contact the doctor and go by what internet says, but still you may want to just find out, and you get the results. So now, should you really take that medication? no, you need to consult your doctor. But at the same time, there are some portals which you may believe, maybe those portals are run by the doctors themselves, which they examine before posting the information, and when you go through such portals and get the information, of course they are worthy of following. However, as I already mentioned, it's possible that you authenticate the information from multiple sources. However, information related to health and other things where lives are at stake, we need to be very, very careful. Of course, there is no such thing about which we can be really careless. We should be careful about one, even everything. Of course, even if you consider education, a mathematical formula, other things, yes, they are very important. You cannot study wrong things. So, authentication of the information is very important. So, you must verify the authenticity of the information before you start implementing whatever is written on the internet. So, this source of information is the most widely used worldwide, but then how to find the exact information that you are searching for from this ocean? Let me just give an example. Suppose you have 10 books on your table and you just want to find whether a particular book is there or not, and you don't have books anywhere else. Whatever books are available, they are on the table, and there are approximately maybe 10 or 20 books. So, you have to search the 20 books and just find out whether the required book is there among them or not, and you will come to a decision once you search it. If you found the required book, it's there. If you did not find it, it's not there. So, you can borrow it from a library or purchase or whatever it is. But suppose there are 10,000 books in your chamber. I am not saying room, because in a room accommodating so many books are different. But even if you take very few books, let me say around 200, 300 books, which is possible to be accommodated in a room, and you want to find out whether a particular book is there or not, then you have to search all the 300 books. Or maybe if you have arranged it in a specific manner, and being a computer science or information technology guy, yes, it is possible to reduce the time to search in case you arranged the books in alphabetical order or something like that. But however, the most important thing is that as the information is increasing, finding the necessary information will also take time in some scenarios. So, and now coming to internet, it is a ocean of information. So, if you want to look for something, I mean when you are searching for something, the entire ocean needs to be searched. So, and then when it is searching the ocean, it is giving around millions of websites or links as a result. And now finding the best among them is really a challenge. But however, we go by order. We will be going through the first 10 or first 15. That is what I do. Okay. Of course, it doesn't mean that I don't go remaining. Randomly we will see, but it is next to impossible to check everything. To overcome this problem, there are some special information retrieval tools on the internet that are designed to help find information stored on other sites. These are known as internet search engines. A search engine permits you to search for keywords or desired information throughout the web. Some examples of search engines are Google, Yahoo, then earlier we used to have AltaVista, and of course there are a large number of search engines if you list them. So, these search engines employ different techniques to provide the desired result to you. So, you are posting your search query in the text box and they are searching and giving the results to you. But one important thing is that for this search engine or search engines, your search query is the input. So, if you formulate your search query in such a way that the search engine can search and give you results in an efficient manner, then there is nothing to that. So, it is also very important to learn how to formulate a search query. But even if you know how to formulate a search query very well, without a search engine, there is no use of formulating queries. So, whenever you are formulating a search query, you think from the perspective of the corresponding search engine, because every query doesn't behave in the same manner by each search engine. So search engines are playing a major role in our lives, and definitely each one of us, of course most probably I have to say, because I can't be sure on everything about what others do, that we use Google at least once in a day to search. Of course more than once, that's what I feel, but definitely at least once. There may be differences on the principles and ways on which various search engines work, but they all essentially perform three basic tasks: search the internet based on important words or select pieces of the web, keep an index of what and where they find the words of interest, allow users to look entire web for the words or combination of words. Now here we have seen the word index. Basically index means that is the particular data on which most of the search takes place. For example, let me say there is a data about countries, but most of the people are searching the internet from the perspective of a country. They are using the country's name in the search, like what is the population of India, what is the population of Bangladesh, what is the area of India. So here you can find that the keyword is country's name. So suppose whatever information is available, that is sorted on the basis of the country's name, then it is really easy to fetch the information and post it back as search result. So search engines, they create indexes of information of what and where they find the words of interest. Then they allow users to look entire web for the words or combination of words. Search engines designed in the early days were capable of keeping an index of a few 100,000 pages, data and documents, and received maybe 1 or 2,000 inquiries each day. Considering the expectation from the internet during those days, maybe this much is sufficient. However, days have changed. Today, billions, I have to say, more than billions of queries across the world, people are keying in to search, and this is yielding massive number of results. So the search engines have to attend to so many billions of search queries every day, and they have to return the information. Of course, the word billion I am using in a generic term, and maybe it may be more or it may be less. Now suppose the search engines start searching the entire internet for each and every query, most probably they will not be able to return the result in a tolerable time. So they use some interesting techniques, particularly nowadays they are using artificial intelligence techniques to ensure that the accuracy is maximum to the possible, and at the same time the time taken is as much less as possible. But with the increasing information and also the usage of internet, this capacity of search engines was just not adequate. Today a top search engine will index more than hundreds of millions of pages and respond to more than tens of millions of queries per day. That really is a major task to handle. How these are performed, how these search engines find the required information from the internet and put the pieces together. These all things are very much important for us to really know, because we are performing search on the internet almost regularly. So now let us see how the searching on the web takes place. When we talk about internet search engines, we actually mean World Wide Web search engines. These search engines were already in place to help people find information on the internet before the web became the most visible part of the internet. So search engines are something that are already existing, and with internet they have improved their techniques. These programs spectacularly reduced the amount of time required to find files and documents, keeping indexes of files stored on servers connected to the internet. By the 1980s, getting the expected results from the internet meant knowing how to use the available search engines. The popularly known search engines in the 1980s were Gopher, Archie and Veronica. We will discuss some of the modern age popular search engines such as Google also in our presentation series. Internet search, it is having 4 basic steps. Query formulation, that includes selection and a combination of various keywords. Advanced search performed by experienced users not only include combination of good keywords but also refined search criteria such as specifying areas to be searched, a date range and so on. Click the search button and wait for the result. This is not an interactive step, but you cannot ignore it. We should review the result list to find something interesting for us. Result depends mostly on query, so vary from negative result. Negative result means no match to the huge collection of data. So result depends mostly on queries and they vary from negative result to the huge collection of data. So in some cases, the browser clearly says no results found, that is treated as a negative result. In another case, it may put many results of that search query on the net and it may be huge collection of data. So don't be sure always that whenever you search you will definitely get lot of result. Sometimes it is possible that it says nothing matching found. Most cases will be between the two extremes. Now let's take action on the result. As an example, if there is any negative result, you may search with new query formulation or give up. When there are huge number of results, you may refine or redo the search or give up. So let us see how all these things work. The basic objective of a search engine is to tell you where exactly a file or document is that you are looking for. But before it does so, the same must be found from the hundreds of millions of web pages that exist. To do this hunt, the search engine employs special software called spiders. These spiders build lists of the keywords found on websites. This process is called web crawling. Web is a countless collection of documents, files and information connected together just like a spider web. The information designed for finding out the required information on the entire web is known as spider. The names and the working of search spider on the web are quite similar to the web spider. When you enter the keywords for search, the spider start web crawling. But how does any spider start its travel over the web? Generally, the starting points are the most popular pages and the lists of heavily used servers. The spider will begin with a popular site indexing the words on its pages and following every link found within the site. Following this pattern, the spider quickly begins to travel the web, spreading out across the most widely used portions. Have a look at the figure. It illustrates the working of a search engine. So in this search engine, you can clearly see where the information is stored, how it is encoded, where it goes. So we can say that internet search engine works on a coordinated set of the steps such as spidering or gathering pages, a program called spider, which may also be called crawler or bot or robots, goes to every representative page on the web, reads it using hypertext links and gathers of such pages. As the spider visits various addresses on the web, it saves these pages or portion of pages for future analysis. Indexing and prioritizing, this is another step. Here a program called indexer creates a huge index, which is also called catalog, from the gathered pages. The indexer looks at various constituents of a page like the tags, comment text, or link titles, heading and body text in order to conclude the meaning of the page. After that, the page is analyzed for various keywords and ranked with respect to other pages with similar keywords and stored in databases. There are many criteria for page ranking that we will be discussing later. Another step is encoding and storing. Finally, the index data so generated is properly structured and stored. A program that receives the search request compares it to the entries in the index, fetches the relevant pages and returns to us. You can pick up some results from the result pages. For further exploration, may refine the search with a new query. So you can just have a look at this particular figure. Here you can see that encoding and storing of systematic data, building index and prioritize, searching the web and finding the requested words. So here everything is depicted in 3 major steps. Now how to build the index? Once the spider completes the search and the required information is found on the web, the information on the search engine must be stored in such a way that makes it reusable or usable. Actually, the search is never completed, and due to the continuous changing nature of the web structure, spiders are endlessly crawling. There are 2 key components involved in making the gathered data accessible to users: information stored with the data, method by which the information is indexed. As the simplest case, the search engine can simply keep on storing all the pages and URLs wherever the word of interest was found and then display all the information to the user. But this will not be very useful to the users because the displayed result will have no information whatever the word was used in an important or critical way on the page, or it was used repeatedly or only once. In other words, the search engine is now building the ranking list of the sites it found by listing the most useful pages on the top of the search results. The ranking is required to make the search results more useful. Search engines keep on storing number of times the requested search term or the required words in the stored data or in the URL are found. Then the engine assigns a weight to each entry. As the value assigned to the word increases, it comes on the top of the search results. Different search engines may have their own logic for assigning weight to words in its index. Due to this reason, the search results for the same word will produce different lists on different search engines and also with the same pages in different orders. After the search, the information stored by a search engine will be encoded to have space by optimizing on font size, style, position and other things such as color, sequence. Doing so, more information can be stored in a less memory space. The information now is ready for indexing. The only objective of indexing is that the information should be found as quickly as possible. In order to build the index, a numerical value is attached to each word by a formula and then it is sorted to show the word with highest ranking on the top. This process is called hashing. A hash table is built for distributing entries evenly across the number of divisions. The key to a hash table's effectiveness is that the numerical distribution is different from the distribution of words across the alphabet. For example, there are some letters in English that start many words, while others start lesser number of words. For example, you will find that in dictionary, the alphabet A section is much thicker than alphabet X section. This means that finding a word beginning with alphabet A would take much longer than that for a word beginning with alphabet X. The difference is evened out by hashing. So, hashing reduces the average time required for finding an index entry. Even when the user creates a complex search, it helps better the results quickly by the combination of efficient indexing and effective storage. Now let us see how to build the search. We can start searching by building a query and submitting it to the search engine. This query can be as simple as a single word or a complex query using Boolean operations like and, or, not. It can also be such as followed by, near. Another option of creating a query can be a set of words between quotation marks which is considered as a phrase, and that phrase as a whole is searched. Now let us consider an example wherein I will be explaining the use of various terms used for building a search. Assume that you want to search for pages containing information about cumulative learning approach. Have a look at the table. It lists the possible use of operators and how it will affect our search. Using Boolean functions while designing a query makes your search more specific, and the user can get directly to the desired results very fast. Now let's have a look at the figure. It shows the logic of Boolean operations. To summarize, a typical search engine does the activities like it starts the search by sending out a spider to get hold of as many files and documents as possible. Spider may keep working in the background almost forever. Another program called an indexer then analyzes these documents and creates an index based on the words contained in each document. Each search engine uses its own algorithm in order to create its indexes in such a manner that ideally only meaningful results are returned for each query. Now let us see what is search engine positioning. Most search engines in general display 9 to 10 results per page in response to the submission of the search term. It is not of much benefit if a link to a web page is ranked at a result 585 out of some around 9 lakh results. The position on a web page in search results is very important if you want to get maximum benefit out of it. However, whatever I am saying, it is earlier, but now we get huge number of results for each and every search query we execute on the search engine. The process of obtaining high page ranking among result pages is also called search engine positioning. Positioning is only relevant for search engines with crawler technology. To achieve a high ranking on result pages, search engine optimization is needed. Search engine optimization focuses on designing pages so as to attract spiders. There are some tips for optimizing the pages of the website. For example, content. It is most important factor for optimization. The pages we create should provide valuable information that references very specific terms and concepts. Then are title and meta tags. The crawler reads the tags to decide keywords of our pages. So these tags should be intelligently designed, and meta tags and HTML tags, they describe the document they are located within. Link structure is something wherein we should use dynamic HTML or Flash or graphics to improve user experience. It's not only important to user but also for search engines, as they use links within our website to crawl and index the pages these links points to. The number of websites linked to our website is another important factor for search engine optimization. Link popularity and gaining new links from outside the website to our website is popular concept to improve search engine rankings. So I also invite you to refer the material that is given in the references section. In case you have any doubts, feel free to call me or email me on pvsuresh@ignou.ac.in. Thank you very much.